Back when I was a freshman at U of M, Fred Phelps and the Westboro Baptist Church came to protest here at Lord of Light because of, the rainbows. For those who don't know, Westboro Baptist is notorious for their anti-LGBTQIA plus rhetoric, and they'll throw in some misogyny and anti-Catholicism for good measure. We had some warning that they would be coming that day, so a friend of mine tagged along with me to church because she was writing an article for the Michigan Daily. We were two blonde freshmen with our hair cut in bobs walking up to church. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought, I'm straight, I'm white, and I'm Protestant, so I'm not a target. But Westboro has mastered the ministry of the taunt. The jeers aimed at me and my friend were, "Women, stop cutting your hair. You need to show your subjugation to your husbands." To which I responded, "I'm not married." "Then you need to show your subjugation to your father." I yelled back, "My dad wouldn't approve of that." A colleague once gave me the insight that churches like Westboro Baptist form a sense of community by being rejected. They don't think they're going to get a bunch of converts with their methods, but that rejection makes them turn inward and reinforces their definition of the truth so that their own community becomes more tight-knit and insular, different from those people. Sometimes there's no pleasing people because they cannot be pleased. John showed up as an austere prophet cloaked in camel hair, but certain people thought he must be disturbed. Then Jesus arrived, welcoming everyone to the table and helping people who weren't even considered worthy. Tax collectors, the unclean, Romans, slaves, but apparently he was too loosey-goosey for certain people. I would suspect it was less about their actions and more about the message. Because even though their approaches were different, both Jesus and John had the same central message. Stop using your religious practices as a way to show off. Follow the heart of the law rather than the letter. Watch out for your neighbor. Live life from a posture of love and care, and stop worrying about whether you've nailed the performance. Because some people will never be happy. God is concerned about relationship, not perfection. Now, faith disciplines can be incredibly important. Fasting, when done well, is a way to reconnect with our need for God and our empathy for those who are truly hungry. Silent prayer and meditation help us remember that we don't need to be busy in order to be loved. But those practices are meant to bring us closer to God and one another, not to make us feel superior and separate. Sometimes we set an impossible standard for ourselves or for others because we ourselves are insecure. Perfectionism is at its heart rooted in a terror of failure. But perfection in the eyes of Jesus means following the heart of the law, not getting every single thing right. In Matthew, Jesus proclaims that he has come to fulfill the law, not destroy it. But what does that mean? Love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't mean being right all the time, being superior all of the time, having the endurance to perform every faith practice perfectly, or only being around who someone told you are the right kinds of people. It means remembering that we love because God first loved us, and that God's love is what gives us life together, which is the only kind of life worth living. Jesus and John call us in different ways to a life lived in love, a life whose impact on the world is so beautiful. People will know God's love because we've been here. It's not about being right or being perfect. It's about being loving and being loved. In that promise, we can lay down the heavy burden of perfectionism and rest in God's love. Amen.